Hey guys, so I have Sector 1 for you of this Conquest series today. This is the Conquest series that we are playing to unlock exiled Ezra Bridger, so he is going to be the lifter unit for Galactic Legend Ahsoka once she comes into the game at some point later this year, early next year, whenever we get her. So, like I said, Sector 1, we're going to hop in, we're going to look at the feats. It's pretty, honestly, straightforward. I think you're going to be really happy. But before we do that, as usual, I do want to say thank you so much to my patrons. I really do appreciate your support. It doesn't go unnoticed, and I am very, very grateful. All right, so let's talk about the Sector 1 feats. Like I said, pretty straightforward. We need to attempt to inflict tenacity down 50 times. While this does say attempt, if you don't land it, it is not counting. I've noticed this. I tried it with my BB-8. He didn't land it for whatever reason, and it did not count. So I'm just going to point that out. If you have a different experience, I would love to know. Maybe it's character specific, but that's just what I noticed with that. Win 10 battles with Morgan Elsbeth surviving. Pretty straightforward. She's just got to get dragged along with one of your squads. Gain Decay 50 times. This is going to be really great for all of us. I think you're going to be very happy. And then defeat 35 enemies with Gungan units. Honestly, super straightforward. Let's have a look, though, at the feats. And I do want to say before we hop into this, this is the first Conquest series that I don't have Professor X for. He has been shelved. So everything that I'm going to show you is from my own account. So if you need to creep any of my gear, Zetas, anything like that, it's all on my account itself. And unless I tell you specifically, I am not swapping any mods on any characters. So if you need to creep any of that, feel free to do so on my roster. All right, so let's look at the videos. All right, guys, so I want to start really straightforward with the defeating 35 enemies with Gungan units feat. I do not have any discs yet equipped on my account for this Conquest series, so I'm just going in with my base roster, base mods, haven't swapped anything around. I am going to do a full Gungan squad for this, so I do have Jar Jar, which is why I am going to use a full team. But it is going to work, and I will show you later on with another squad as well. But it does work if you don't have the full squad as well. But the important thing here with the defeating 35 enemies really is that if you can, I would recommend taking 4 Gungans on your squad because you're able to double dip into that global feat that lets you win, I believe it's 15 battles with a squad of at least 4 Gungans on your squad. So you want, Rey, Kylo, Lord Vader, whoever it is that's going to go in and one-shot the node for you and bringing in your Gungans to kind of just tag along. And if they get kills, they get kills. But full Gungan squad here. That way we're getting the kills no matter what. No one's stealing them, etc. And then they get the credit. We get the credit for the global feat this way as well at the same time. So really straightforward. All right. Now, let's have a look at the next one. So you can see I've got a white Amplify Agony disc. That's the only one I'm going to keep equipped right now at the moment because I don't really want to use heal over time if I don't have to. But we are going to look at Decay. So this is quite fun. I'm going to go against a Karth team. It works really nice against Karth. It also works on Mon Mothma. It works on Starkiller. It works on Padme. It works on General Grievous. But I'm going in on Karth. So the main thing here is you're going to get Decay because of Enoch's leadership. You want no other Empire leaders on your squad, and you want no droid troopers, so Dark Trooper, on your squad. So this is the team that I'm taking. I have no Zetas, so it's Enoch, the 2 new zombie guys, and then I'm taking my Stormtrooper and my Death Trooper. And essentially, with his leadership, anytime your character goes down to 1% health for the first time, they will go back to 100% health and protection, and they will gain a stack of Decay, and they can gain up to 9 stacks. So things to keep in mind: if they do enough damage to you and end up one-shotting your character, so they go past that 1% health threshold, they will just kill you. And this is also only for non-crits. So I have seen some people talking about possibly using crit avoidance arrows. I don't have any crit avoidance arrows on my squad. I went back and checked. You can check them if you want on my .gg page. They're not even 6 mods on some of these guys. So it's pretty straightforward. I think I have an accuracy arrow on one of them. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous modding on my part. But that decay buff on the far left is just stacking up anyway. And we're just sitting and waiting and letting Karth take all the turns. And it's fine. So that was my first attempt on it. And I ended up getting 20 stacks in one fight. So I'm not mad about this. I think we're all going to be pleasantly surprised. All right, let's move on. So I do want to gain a little bit of tenacity down now, if possible. I am going to go in on this first order squad. I also want to work on Stagger at the same time. I like going in on first order teams because of crew being there. It lets me throw a few more debuffs out and not necessarily blow through them as quickly as you might otherwise. So I am going to go in with Ray. It's not going to really count towards anything else in particular, but I just kind of want to make my way through the sectors this way. You don't need to take Padawan Obi-Wan with you. I just have him there. If you have the Omicron on him, then I would, because you're going to be stacking up the extra debuffs that way with his Omicron. But really, all you're getting from here is you're going to get an AoE tenacity down from Qui-Gon's dice roll thingy, and then you're going to get some stagger from Poe's first special. So we're going to be able to actually triple dip with this squad because we're working on stagger. We've got the tenacity down because of Qui-Gon, and also we want Master Qui-Gon to survive for the global feat. So you're getting 3 feats done at once, and you're just going to slowly, make your way through and call it good. But that is that. And I'll just show you real quick. We're going to be sitting at 11 tenacity down now. So we went up 5 because of Qui-Gon. But then we're also going to be adding some staggers for the global feat. And we're also going to add a tick towards Qui-Gon surviving on the global feat as well. So that is pretty much what we like to see. Okay. Let's look at the next one. So this is going to be more tenacity down and more stagger. Doesn't double dip, triple dip, etc. with anything else. But whenever I see an Inquisitor node, I really love to take my Phoenix squad against them, as you guys are probably aware of by now. So you're going to get the tenacity down because of Captain Rex. He's got an AoE tenacity down. And then you also have an AoE stagger from Sabine on this squad here. So you're just going to pretty much go through and use your specials. I do like to, as much as possible, call Chopper to assist when I can with Hera, because him using his basic has a chance to reduce cooldowns, on the other Phoenix members. So whenever Sabine gets to take her turn again, you have the opportunity to throw her AoE stagger again, or you have the opportunity on Rex to throw his AoE tenacity down again. So you can rack it up a little bit faster that way. But like I said, it's not going to dip on any other feats, but you're able to make your way through relatively cleanly, honestly, with this squad, and just keep going through the sectors while you're working on the feats at the same time. So you can see we're at 24 now for tenacity down, and then we're going to be up a few staggers as well because of Sabine. So we're sitting at 9. I'm not worried about focusing on the stagger, by the way. It's just going to happen naturally. All right. So here we are. We're going to go in now with a Nightsister squad just to work on the tenacity down, if you remember to do basic with zombie, which I did not. But you also need to win 20 battles with a full Nightsister squad. We do need to get wins with Morgan Elsbeth surviving as well, and she is a Nightsister. However, she does prevent the revives on her unique, which I forgot about, which kind of sucks. Which means if she dies, like you can't bring her back. So I don't really want to drag her along this early on in the Conquest series when my discs are kind of trash at the moment. But I do want to at least start thinking about the global feats as well. And you can see it counts towards it, even though we're not using Morgan. And at least we can get that done while we're making our way through. All right. So eventually with Morgan surviving, I would like to use her on a full Nightsister squad just because I would like to double dip that way. However, for now, we can just go in. These are the discs I've got equipped: Volatile Accelerator, Amplify Agony, and Weak Spot, which sounds kind of fun. And I'm just going to go in with a strong squad that I know is going to be able to get things done relatively quickly. And then that way Morgan can just kind of hang on for dear life and survive. So I am going to go in with Kylo and just kind of power through the node with him. It doesn't necessarily have to be Kylo. You could do like Lord Vader. You could do Reva lead, especially when you've got the Amplify Agony set up. You could do, because we have Volatile Accelerator and Amplify Agony, you could do Bam Han Chewie as usual. Basically anything that's going to let you wipe out the enemy squad. And Morgan is just hanging out and, you know, she just has to survive. That's all you really need to worry about, is keeping her alive. So again, if you don't have the right disc set up for this yet, I would not worry about it while you're making your way through Sector 1, and just come back if you absolutely need these 5 points and getting these 10 battles done. Honestly, you would most likely just be able to drag her along on a Datacron node as well later on once we're farming. But that's basically that for Morgan. She's just hanging out. And I just want to show you this as well really quick for transparency's sake. So I did go in and do this immediately after. So you'll see my Morgan is depleted. She's down to 80% stamina. And we're going to go in on Mon Mothma. It doesn't have to be Mon Mothma. In hindsight, this probably wasn't the best squad to do this on, but it does work. And you're just going to go with a third sister lead, Grand Inquisitor, and I like to take 8th Brother and 5th Brother because they both have AoEs. All I care about in this is using AoEs, and Morgan is there to hang out and survive. Because we have Volatile Accelerator and we have the Amplify Agony, you're going to be able to do extra damage because of the debuffs that are pumping out there, and you will be able to just kind of AoE them to death. So again, you want to do the AoE with Grand Inquisitor if possible, and then AoE with 8th Brother and 5th Brother if you have to, and you're able to just get the win that way. And Morgan hangs out and does absolutely nothing, but you get credit for her surviving on your team, and that way you can work towards that feat at the same time. All right, so we have the mini boss, which is a Jawa squad, and you have to do this twice to get both feats. You need a full squad of Geos and only light side characters, so there's no opportunity to double dip here, unfortunately. So we're going to go in with full Geos here, and you can also get Tenacity down and Stagger with them, so at least we're able to work on some other feats at the same time. This is not going to be super clean, I will say, because honestly, I wasn't really trying to be super clean. And again, it's very early in the Conquest series. I don't have a full disc set up yet, so survivability is a little bit trickier at this time. But honestly, all I care about at this point is moving through. I can clean up later with light side. So again, you're just going to go through with your Geos. I do try to get rid of Scavenger first because that is the Jawa that's able to pump out the thermals on you from the unique. So if you can get rid of them right away and try to limit your thermal damage that way, and that way you can, you know, get the win in and you'll be set that way. But again, not super clean. Don't care. We're going to clean it up with a light side team anyway. We're just trying to get the feat done. So we did get some Tenacity down, and then we won with Geos. So that's the first feat done on the mini boss. And then, like I said, we need to go in again because we need to win with a full light side team. So you can see I'm still only working with the one Amplify Agony disc on both of these fights, just going in back to back. And I am going to go in and get some Tenacity down, Stagger, Master Qui-Gon surviving, all of that. I am going to take Padawan Obi-Wan out because, again, you don't really need him unless you have the Omicron. And I just want to ensure survivability. I want to ensure that I can 3-star this and clean it up as much as possible. So I'm going to take Ben there just to make sure Rey stays alive. That way I can take advantage of her whirlwind. I can take advantage of the damage immunity, the lifeblood. I can take advantage of her ult, etc. All of the fun stuff with Rey. So we're just going to keep everyone alive, try and kill the scavengers as much as possible, as quickly as possible. And Qui-Gon's going to do his little dice roll so we can get some Tenacity out. Poe is going to do his first special whenever possible, so you can land a stagger or two that way. And then you're just going to hopefully wipe out the squad before they take out any of your guys and call it good. And you'll win with a full light side squad and 3-star it, not have to worry about any cleanup after the fact. So honestly, really straightforward for the mini boss, and there's no feat on it or no modifier on it except for over prepared. All right, so now you have your boss. You need to defeat an enemy with Queen Amidala, and you need to win with Boomadier surviving. You could theoretically do this in one fight if you wanted to. I chose not to. I figured I might as well take advantage of double dipping on the Gungan feat at the same time. So I have the Volatile Accelerator, the Amplify Agony, and Weak Spot applied, and that's it. And then I'm going to go in with a Jedi Master Luke lead team to get the Queen Amidala kill. So she's going to go in the second slot to make it easy for me to call the assist on her. And then we're going to take Watt to force the taunt. And then 2 Jedi that we can use to call Queen Amidala to assist whenever possible. So I like to use Shock and Hermit Yoda personally. And I like them because they have calls to assists on their specials as well. So if you can't use the Jedi Master Luke ability to do it, you can still call somebody to assist with them. They have heals, they have cleanses, they have all of this nice stuff that makes it just a little bit easier to keep people alive and keep the team intact. So I do like to use them for that reason. All right, so like I said, pretty straightforward with this. With Jedi Master Luke, all I want to do is call to assist with Amidala, with Queenie. I did want to get some debuffs out with Luke because of that weak spot disc I have equipped, and that's going to rack up the offense on the team. And then honestly, it's just going through and trying to get a kill as soon as possible. We got it right away there on Malgus with Queenie. So now really it's just about getting the battle done. I am going to keep calling Queenie to assist because I like to make sure that she did land a kill. So I do try with these types of feats to get at least 2 kills with the character, even if it only specifies for 1, because I'm paranoid. There's no other reason for it. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but that's just the way I operate. And I was kind of hoping here that she might be able to snag it, but Darth Revan's just going to die to the dots. So that's fine. She does get it. It's all good. And we're happy as clamps. Okay, so now we need to go in again and have Boomadier survive. So again, you could do these in one fight. I chose not to. I want to take advantage of having 4 Gungans on my squad. And then that way I'm double dipping towards the global feat at the same time. And this is what I would do if you don't have Jar Jar. So I like to take a Rey team or a Rey lead, with the 4 Gungans, because she's going to be able to keep them alive with her damage immunity. She's going to be able to pop that lifeblood around. And you really only care about Boomadier here. So Boomadier is the one holding the little purple ball there in the front, in the back row, closest towards the screen, closest towards us. That's who we care about keeping alive. The rest of the Gungans can die. So if you have weak Gungans, they don't need to survive for this feat. They can die off and it's fine. For this particular feat, Boomadier is the only one that needs to survive. For the global one, though, they can all just hang out and do what they want. So if you don't have Rey, you could go in with a different GL if you have one that's capable of soloing. So like Lord Vader, Kylo, etc. You just want to be able to kill off the node as quickly as possible so that your Boomadier survives. And if you happen to get any kills with Gungans, you're also dipping towards that feat in the sector as well. So there is a little bit of double dipping happening, which is kind of nice. You know how I feel about that. And just for transparency, there it is there that the 4 Gungans were in the squad, and we got that. Okay, that is Sector 1. Like I said, I think you guys are going to be pleasantly happy with this. I think it's pretty straightforward. Decay was a very nice surprise. Obviously, the weaker your characters are, the better, because you do want to get to that 1% health in order to trigger the Decay to apply to your squad. So if you have stronger units than what I do, I would recommend either running them in other squads to like through other sectors or whatever, and winning battles with them essentially. So you're depleting their stamina so they're weaker, or just pulling your mods off. Either or I think would work, and you just don't want to use any like survivability type discs if you have really strong troopers for that feat. But otherwise, I think it's pretty good. So I will be back tomorrow with Sector 2. I'm going to try and get these out as quick as possible for you guys, and that'll be that. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this was really helpful.